What's up, my people? Dustin.
Drake,
you finally get to put a face with a name. This is the first ever video podcast that you're going to see of us.
with our new setup here.
Check it out.
It's party.
We've done all of our podcasts from here. We just haven't had this finished. So we finally finished it. And now that the YouTube channel is back up, we can talk to you on it. So
Yes.
this video is called Keep On Keepin On. Yes, we even have notes. I don't operate with notes, but Drake does.
I do. I mean, it's good just in case we start losing track of what we're doing.
That's like everything that you guys have seen from me in the last decade is like free form, top of the brain. And when I have like any kind of notes, I don't do teleprompters, any of that kind of stuff. It throws me off, actually.
Yeah.
I feel like I can't just be me and talk. But
and you don't know how many times that I've had to edit so much stuff out. And on top of it, I'd be like, can you go back in there and say this one line? Because that was the whole point of this.
Yeah, what you said is not okay. That'll get us canceled. We need a friendlier, non-construction dirty hands guy version of that.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't noticed over the years, kind of honed my language a little bit. I'm not as...
You're more accessible to more people.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that is the truthful reason. Like, I don't filter myself for sponsors or anything like that. That's actually like a huge thing in our contracts that like you will not censor my speech. But I have realized I've had a lot of schools that have told me they can't use our content because I dropped
That was the big one for me. When I heard that, it's just like, well,
I have a responsibility.
Yeah. What's the point of swearing? Right.
Yeah. It's an easy thing for me to let go of.
Yeah. And it just puts like a box around you, you know?
Yeah.
But
anyways, so today's video is called Keep On Keepin On because we just lost our YouTube channel and that affects every single thing in my business. If we, as of recording this right now, we don't have a YouTube channel and we are wondering if we're ever going to get it back because we're dealing with like an algorithm, a mega corporation. We're not talking to people. Like, even though we have a huge following, we don't have like an inside line to YouTube to talk to people. It's even a big thing for us to like try to figure a problem out. We've had over a decade, we've had constant problems and we run businesses.
Yep.
And the one thing that I've noticed with both of us is when problems come in, we just let them come in and push them out.
Yeah. Figure it out.
I think what's kind of kept us going and what I've seen like, especially like gruff Texas men running these contracting companies, what I've noticed as a pattern in them is they don't let stuff shake them.
Nope.
Problems keep coming. Your whole life, you're going to have problems. As crappy as a situation as you might be in right now with something going on in your life, give it a couple weeks.
Yeah.
It will pass. And then more problems will come though. There's always new problems coming. And so for me, I'm not getting shaken by this whole losing my YouTube channel. I mean,
It's
reality
scary, for sure.
Yeah.
Right. But there's a way to go about it. Right. Yeah. When we first heard about it, we went in panic mode.
Yeah. Well, not me. I was like in my underwear in my kitchen drinking coffee, having a great morning. And I got this text and I'm like, WTF, mate. You know, like,
and to be fair, you called me and was like, our YouTube is gone. Yeah. And then you hung up. And that's where I was at.
I need you to go to the studio right now.
Yeah. So for me, there was definitely panic. Like, oh, was that, you know, but no. And it's important to get that panic or get the anger or all the things, right? You're human. If something bad happens, you're going to have a moment of like anything from existentialism to very angry, right? Yeah. At that point, don't make any decisions. Don't make any decisions. Just take it in. And, you know, sometimes you have to make a decision right away, but
yeah, there's a couple decisions. When we got hacked,
yeah,
I had to make the decision of like gaining control of the situation in whatever way I could.
Yeah, but you weren't like deleting things because you were mad. You were like, I need to get this focused.
Yeah,
right?
like how do I keep things going? And I think that's the pattern that I've seen when I'm talking about these like older men running businesses. They've been just through so much for so many years. So like when I was this dumb apprentice, I got my truck stuck in the mud one time and this dude came over. Actually, were you with me when we were in Whitney?
This sounds familiar.
Yeah. I got my Titan stuck and I didn't have 4-wheel drive. And so this old dude that ran the company is just sitting and watching us like dig around in this mud, trying to get this truck out. We're just filthy with mud, freaking out, worried, because it just seemed like it was getting deeper and deeper. And we're like, we're out in the middle, like 2.5 hours.
We're going to just have to leave this car here.
Yeah.
It's
going to get buried, freaking out. And he's just sitting over there chuckling, and he just goes and gets a bobcat and comes over, lifts the front end of the truck, pulls it over a little bit, and then puts it on dry ground. And I'm like, oh, I feel so stupid. There's a solution to every problem. And when you keep yourself calm and just let things happen, you can actually gracefully move through and like see the pathway through.
It's true. Also, if you can't find a solution, especially in the world of YouTube, there is a solution that you can find out there. Any problem that you've run into, there's 1,000 videos on it.
Yeah.
And we have phones now. If your car gets stuck in the mud, ask what's the best way of getting it out.
Yeah.
If you just don't know,
I have a log, a rope, and somebody's cat. How do I get my truck out?
Use the cat.
Somebody has done it.
I mean, even with this whole YouTube thing, there's like courses that have to do with if your page gets deleted.
Yeah.
Like people have made courses because this happens that frequently.
Yeah.
So if you don't know the solution, search it. And that's part of a solution, is searching for a solution.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things I've noticed too, like in my son, so he's just turned 20. He's in this like coming of age range right now where he's having to problem solve on his own. And I think he's been so used to relying on me when he was growing up in, middle school, high school, for me being the person that would bring the solutions to him and solve the problems. And nowadays, as a grown man, my role is to back off and like let him struggle a little bit and figure it out, because he needs the skill of being able to be like, oh damn, but then himself find the solution to get through it. And that's the core of everything that I want to talk about. Is there's certain traits with getting through things where you have a choice. You either throw your hands up and walk away and nothing gets solved, and you have all this anxiety and stress and you're not doing anything constructive to get through the situation, or there is remaining calm even though internally you're like boiling, just remaining calm and trying to figure out a solution, because there is a solution to every single problem. Some solutions you got to pay for,
Yeah, absolutely.
And some solutions aren't neat, clean, tidy things. Sometimes there's a lot of crazy stuff, like me losing a YouTube channel. There's so much crazy stuff I'm having to just find out and ask questions, ask ChatGPT. Now every new email that comes in, I have to like learn how to assess headers in an email to figure out if there's a valid source of There's like so much I'm having to learn, but I'm figuring it out rather than like letting it take me over.
Yeah. And on that note, GPT is an amazing source of information. If you're not using ChatGPT as a resource, you're missing out on an abundance of any question that you have. It'll answer.
Yeah.
It just does that. And it'll problem solve for you, which is, once again, part of finding a solution. But also failing, right? If you're doing a thing and something bad happens and you try to fix it and it doesn't work, that now you're compounded, right? It's something bad happened. Let's say like your heater broke in your house. Heater broke. You think it's this thing. You've tried to fix it and it still doesn't work. You could just be like, all right, well, my house is cold forever, right? Because now not only are you mad about the first thing, now you're frustrated with. Understand that now that you know that whatever you tried to fix didn't fix it, you're a step ahead. You know what didn't work. Yep. And knowing what doesn't work is half the battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that goes for like troubleshooting electrical circuits. It goes for fixing cars.
It goes with literally everything.
Yeah. I set a car on fire one time because I was just trying some stuff. And actually, I didn't set the car. Me and my buddy were working on a car, and we had a stethoscope. And there's a certain stethoscope that has a rod on it. And if you have ticking in your motor, you can tell like where a lifter is that's bad. So you can take the head off. But you take the stethoscope and you sit and poke this thing, and you hear the knocking all of a sudden really loud, and you're like, "Ooh, that's the one that is." So, but I handed it to him, and there was a fuel leak in the top of the motor. So there's kind of like these little pools of fuel on the top. And he somehow, I don't know if he crossed like an alternator bolt or something, and it touched that pool and it immediately sparked and the whole motor went up in flames. And we're both sitting here, these like 19, 20-year-old kids trying to flip cars as a side job. And this car, this like nice Thunderbird that we had, the T-tops and everything just set on fire in the motor bay. And so in that situation, it's like there's fight or flight or freeze. And my friend froze. He literally just froze and laughed.
Stared at it.
And didn't know what to do. And I ran because I'm always the fight. I'm always like run into the situations, probably stupidly sometimes. But I went and got a whole bunch of, I didn't have any baking soda. So I went and got flour. I had this massive thing full of flour and I went out there and just dumped the flour on it. And as soon as I did that, the fire department showed up. So somebody had watched us and saw what was going on and just called the fire department.
Meanwhile, your friend was still just watching it.
Standing there. I'm like, dude. But that just goes to say that like there is a solution through everything, and nothing's like unsolvable, as crazy as a situation might be.
Yeah, I mean, barring incredible disaster or death, right?
Oh yeah, I'm sure like all the people in LA that just lost their homes, or North Carolina, floods, all the stuff that's some things you just gotta like walk away from.
Yeah. Right, and that's a huge thing too. When is it the right time to be like, you know what? I'm done.
Let it burn.
Let it burn. And that's different for every single case, for every single person. For my music school, you know, if I lost all my students for some reason, you know, if the economy goes in the depths of horrorness, music lessons are one of the first things to go.
Yeah, low priority. Paying
they're definitely
that bill.
Extraneous, you know.
Yeah,
they're not survival skills for sure. So when do I say, all right, I'm done? And this isn't an issue right now. I'm just saying this is what I would relate it to. And I don't know if I would let go of it. I would be like, no, I'm going to still keep my 4 students and I'll keep pushing, you know. It's it means a lot to me. So
yeah,
it depends on anything. But, you know, if you lose everything, you know, how do you deal with that?
I'll let you know if this YouTube channel never comes back, because like literally it affects every single thing about our business, our brand, everything.
Yeah.
Like as I was sitting there drinking my coffee and having to deal with the philosophical quandary that I was in about it, there was that thought that creeped up that was just like, well, I guess it's time to let it burn.
Yeah.
And
is this over?
Right. Yeah. But I didn't let that grow and keep going with that thought. I just went to work on, no, how do I piece this together? How do I keep doing it? But if we lose this YouTube channel and we can't get it back, that's going to affect everything.
Yeah.
So at that point, I have a choice even. Do I fight and start making videos and start just going after YouTube and being like, you know, we didn't do anything wrong and you're taking away 10 years of everything and everything all of our followers, you know, believe in and all this stuff that they watch. I would fight for that. Yeah. Until like tooth and nail, until like I got shut down because I'm being such an asshole on the internet to like fight it.
Yeah, I feel like there's a diplomatic way of doing it first, right? There's the way of doing it how they say to do it. Fill out the forms, do the thing, and if they like deny us, it's just like, okay. Then in person, we try to get in person and be diplomatic.
That's when my Papa Bear comes out.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I turn into an asshole.
I would tell you like, hold on to Papa Bear for a second, and just be like, explain the humanism part of it
for sure,
right? Like, is it your YouTube? Yes. Right?
Yeah.
And then if they're like, well, no, sorry.
Yeah, like I feel like I could fly to LA and sit there, or in San Francisco, I guess, and sit there at Google and be like, this is my YouTube channel. Look at my face. Look at my face. This is my channel.
Yeah.
I'm not faking this. I'm not a fraud.
Bring the drive with every single working file.
Yeah.
You know,
well, it's not that. It's that they're claiming that there was illegal activity on the channel.
Right. Which there was because somebody hacked into it.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like IP addresses, like we have all. What I'm saying is, I feel like, and this is just my feelies, I feel like it feels obvious that we're going to get it back, right?
I hope so.
I hope so.
I think it's a 50-50 chance.
But if it got to that point where we go to them and be like, and then at that point, it's just like, okay, if they're just like, sorry, we can't do anything about it. It's one of my least favorite things when there's clearly something you can do about it.
Yeah.
And they have that, sorry, I can't do anything about it.
Yeah. It's like, no, you just don't want to do something. You don't want to fight for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even then, like the attitude that I have is just keep going. Like through this experience that we've had doing this channel, I have been hated on by people across the internet. People have taken my videos and just crapped all over my name and everything that we do and think that I should die. They've literally told me to kill myself, said that my ex-wife was fat and ugly and like my kid, all kinds of craziness.
Yeah.
And
you don't know how many times we get comments that say, your beard looks ugly.
Yeah. It's like, bro, I feel sorry for humanity, for like the boredom that people have and the insecurity that they have in their lives, where the only power they feel they have is to reduce somebody else's power so that they can feel bigger. I feel terrible because I know those people in really bad places. And watching somebody succeed at something when you're not being successful, it's so easy to just try to pull them down rather than actually you build a tall building so that you have done something with your life to be proud of.
Yeah.
And people that truly, it's never people that are doing something great with their life and great for the community and other people and that are like actually a good thing for our society. Those are never the people that shit on you.
Right.
Those are the people that are biggest supporters, and they're too busy doing their own thing, building their own thing, and understanding what we're all doing to tear you down. It's never those people. It's always the people that have nothing going on, are hurt in some way, that have the time to do stupid stuff like that. But it did take me a while to get through that. Like you and I used to have conversations where it's like, dude.
Yeah, there's been times where he went into a dwindle hole.
Yeah. When we first started and I first started getting like, you know, for a while it was like 99% just positive stuff on every video that I'd make. Yeah. And I had a small following. So 7,000 followers, that's easy to do. But once you start getting into like tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands, everybody's commenting on stuff.
Yeah, people not even really watching your videos.
Yeah, there's like nail technicians and EMT, the driver, you know, like paramedics and stuff that watch the videos. But I had to learn, I can give up and walk away and think I'm this dumb, you know, have imposter syndrome and think I don't belong doing this. Who am I to do this? And start doubting myself, which there's been some of that.
Yeah.
But then there's also the decision like, nah, I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah.
And that's what I've always done is just, nah, I'm gonna keep going.
The idea of never making a mistake, right? You make mistakes. We make mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, I'll edit something that you said something wrong by accident, and then it gets posted on YouTube.
Yeah.
And that happens, and we're very upfront and transparent about that. Matter of fact, we're like, if you see something that we messed up,
if you see something, say something.
Right, sure. If you see a code number that he accidentally said 0.5 instead of 0.4, like tell us, you know, because there's so much detail in everything that we're doing that we mess up. And so when people are like, oh, you're stupid, you're doing it wrong, it's just like, thank you for telling us. Yeah. You could have been a little more constructive, right? Yeah,
we tend to like not listen to the people who are just assholes.
Right.
Like if you can come to me as a man or as a woman that is, you have a respectful perspective on things, or you have an educated view on something, respectful people get heard in my ecosystem. I've tried to make all of our communities a very, very respectful place with standards of how people talk to each other, students to teachers, all of that. And we just kick people out that can't be a decent human being to the other person, because you can't be respected professionally if you can't be respected personally. It's really hard to,
you know, and that's kind of all part of this, controlling your emotions, right? If you're really upset about something that somebody said, there's a way to go to them and be like, hey, I didn't like what you said. Instead of being like, oh my God, you're such a jerk because you said this. And it's just like, that doesn't help anybody.
No. If anything, it just, like, there are content creators out there that make it their point to just shit on other people and copy their videos. So they're not actually making their own videos. They're just using our creativity to trash our name.
Right. And it definitely feeds on to the people who like to watch car crashes.
Yeah. People that are just sitting there with their popcorn that like.
And I get it. You know, it's drama, and people love to watch drama because it's an escape from their drama. But it's not helpful
to anybody.
Anything.
No. Yeah. Anyway, so like the point of that is just keep going. You know, if you get to a point where you don't want to keep going anymore with something, like, flip the table over and walk away. But I think that if you if the reasons why you're flipping the table over and walking away are because you're scared of something, that's usually not the right reason to walk away. That's usually the time where it's like, hunker down, go to sleep, all these feelings you're feeling right now, a little bit of sleep, you'll wake up in the morning without the feelings and you'll have the thing in your head and you can start processing constructively.
Yeah. Attack it with a clear head.
Yeah. But fearfulness is seldom a good reason to like run away from problems. But again, it's up to like everybody's.
Yeah. I mean, you could be talking about running a lemonade stand, right? And it's just like, no one's coming to buy lemonade. How long do you stick with that before you quit, right?
Well, there's one side where you could go build a whole bunch of signs and go out to the highway and get a dancing clown for your friend, like dress up. You know, you can find a way
if
to
you
a solution.
Really want that, right?
Yeah. How bad do you want it? Yeah.
The idea of the future of things, right? In 5-10 years, having that idea of like, okay, there's this problem. What would this problem look like in 10 years if it's stuck around? Because there's a lot of things you can do in a business that you can ignore or you can be lazy about when it comes to just like having like virus protection on your computer. It's like, I don't need that. You know, all I do is accounting stuff, right? It's just like, okay, you know, how long is that going to work out for you? Or like, all right, there's this little leak in the faucet in our sink. I can ignore that for a while. Mm-hmm. But then it's just like, or you could just fix it because in 10 years, you're going to at one point have a gushing faucet that is going to ruin all your electrical equipment.
Yeah.
And I know those are like mundane things, but any part of that can be attached to any part of your business. I mean, every business building has a bathroom. Right. So it's like you got to maintain all these little things, and all these little things, all these little problems will compile into a bigger problem. So, of course, when you have a disaster like this YouTube thing or any version of your type of disaster, you have to figure out how to work on it. But if you let all these little things build up, now you have this like kind of baseline of like, oh, there's all these problems. I'll take care of those at some point. And then a big thing happens. How much weight can you take on your shoulders?
Yeah. Because the little stuff, you don't necessarily feel the weight of it because it just builds up and builds up over time. But when a big thing happens, you feel all of it together.
So all that to say, keep up on things. Keep up on the little things. So when something big happens, you got a clear slate to work with. You're not already bogged down on your BIOS in your brain.
Yeah. Yeah. And not every problem is as big as we paint it. I think like largely when a problem happens, it's like, this is maximum problem. You know, this is the world ending for me. And in most of the things that I've been through that I thought at the time were world ending, I don't even remember them anymore now. You know, it's like everything can be reduced to a small thing once the solution happens. It's like, oh, that wasn't even, I went way overboard with worry on that.
Well, if you think about what worry is, I mean, there's real worry. There's things that could actually happen. But at the same time, those things haven't happened. So you're worrying about a future event that hasn't happened, making that an actual fictional event. So you're worrying about a fake thing. It doesn't exist. You're putting time and effort into that.
Yeah, you're like trading your present for a future that doesn't exist.
Right. Yeah. And not to get all woo-woo, but manifestation definitely happens if you're like, oh, this problem is going to resolve in the worst way possible. If you're going into every thought like that, that's exactly where you're going to land it.
Yeah, and even just like you said, not in a woo-woo way, in a scientific way, if all you ever focus on, you know, the whole like if all you have in your hand is a hammer, everything's a nail.
Right.
It's not even like a woo thing. It's like your perspective. When you start to see everything sucks in your life around you everywhere, you're going to notice the things that suck more. But if you're going through every day thinking everything's great all the time, you're going to notice all the things that are great. And so it is just a matter of perspective and how things shape up around you based off of how you act. And I know firsthand what you're saying, like don't avoid things. When I was younger, I used to avoid problems.
Oh yeah.
I didn't have time and money. I had to work 3 jobs. I had a kid, child support. I I just had to keep going. And so I was getting tickets, and then they'd turn into warrants, and then I'd get arrested for nothing stupid, like stupid stuff, where like my registration would go out of my car and the inspection or the insurance would go out, and I'd keep driving and I'd get pulled over. And, I just kept thinking like, I'll just get to it someday, but it always compounds into something bigger and bigger.
And here's the thing. When you own a business and you're doing a bunch of life stuff in general, you don't even need to be owning a business. There's so much to life.
Yeah.
That you have to put those things aside.
Yeah.
At first just be like, you know what? I'll deal with that later. But make sure that later happens.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Yeah, because there are some things like when a problem happens, it's funny because we were just saying when a problem happens, like, don't worry, like just kind of get through.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean don't solve the problem still. Don't like still make steps to take care of it. But not everything has to be handled right now in the minute because that can be overwhelming.
That'll take your entire day, every day.
And it'll cascade into worry and bigger and bigger. Yeah. So
make a list, man. Make a list.
Yeah.
Be like, all right, I got to get a new faucet at some point in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
Next time you're at Home Depot, be like, right.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, there is on Google phones, and I think it's available on Apple phones as well, iPhones. There's this program called Google Keep.
Yeah.
And what you can do is you make a list, and you can make several different types of lists. And one of the functions of this is you can put a locational alarm. So you make a Home Depot list, and you're like, all right, I need a faucet. And you just put it there, and it's on your phone. You put a locational alarm at Home Depot, so when you go into Home Depot, guess what pops up?
No way.
Yeah, it's
really?
the coolest thing. I have one for Ocean State Job Lot, for Stop and Shop, all the things, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh, I got to get a little extension cord, which for some reason, I need extension cords all the time. All the time.
Yeah.
I never have enough. But anyway, extension cord, whatever, on my Ocean State Job Lot, and then I walk in, and it pops up. It's like, oh yeah, I have this list already going. It is such a way to relieve your brain of trying to maintain. All right, what did I need?
Yeah.
Just write it down right away. When you think of it, it takes 2 seconds.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I use two means, which is probably stupid, but I use my Google Calendar for everything. And I've got a couple of them. I've got like my personal one has all the due dates for my bills. So they're all like a red color. And then Electrician U is like blue. So anything going on within the company, all my school schedule is all in purple. But like I've just started to rely on that because I forget about everything. I am not a linear one step after the other kind of person. I'm creative. My brain's all over the place all the time.
I know.
Yeah. So if we go to like an event, I rely on people around me being like, hey, we got to go do this thing over here at 10 o'clock. We got to, and I just know that that's a weakness of mine, and that's okay. But my ability to maintain going to school, working full time, writing a textbook, like running the company, doing all of these different things that we do is my phone goes off and it reminds me. I'm like, oh crap.
No, you're good at living in the present.
Yeah.
Which is good because I'm good at living in the future. I'm a list maker. So when I get to that point, I can just do the thing. It's very similar in sort.
Yeah.
But we work well together as well.
Yes. Even like out in the field or doing all of this stuff. Like,
it's
we
just
actually,
easy.
we pick up the slack of the other person really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing that I think is really cool, I heard this a long time ago, is when you have a mountain in front of you and you get to this point of like agitation where it just seems like there's so much going on and you don't even know where to start, that can make you stop and not do anything. And a lot of times when you have a problem, stopping and not doing anything is the worst decision you can make. And so I heard this, I don't even remember who told me. I think it was like some old man in Texas where I get most of my things from, is how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
One bite at a time.
Right? You can get through the thing one bite at a time. Like there's only so much that you can do. So find something that you can actually solve when you've got all these problems. And this is the same if you're troubleshooting out in the field and you walk into like Walmart distribution center or something and you're like, holy crap, there's conveyors and motor control cabinets and all this stuff, panels everywhere, buildings everywhere. this is complex, and you start to get agitated, and it's like overwhelming.
One little crappy part at a time.
Yeah, you gotta take all of the unknowns and start whittling each unknown away and make it a known, so that all you have around you are knowns, and now all you have is this one little unknown, the last asshole of the elephant that you got to eat.
Yeah.
Sorry. I actually asked somebody one time, like, how do you eat an elephant? And the first thing they said was, ass first. No.
Be like, you need therapy.
Yeah. But no, if you just tackle one thing that you know that you can complete, it reduces everything. This is the same for like taking SATs. It's the same for taking your licensing exam in electrical. Go through the test a couple times, like pass through it, take care of the things you know you can easily get, and then take another pass and start tackling a little bit more complex stuff that you know you can get, and leave the crap at the end for like the real unknowns, because then you only have like 5 questions left that you got to figure out. You know, it's just a way of whittling things down.
Yeah, figure out what you do know.
Yeah.
And leave the rest to study.
Yeah. But if you have a dream, you have a thing that you love, that is your thing, and you like doing it, and you got Johnny Jerk in the comments saying that you should stop doing what you're doing, like, don't let people dissuade you. Don't let people's opinions of you take away and change you internally off of your path. If you got a path, keep going. Like, don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on the things that you love. But if there's a time that you get to where you hate it and you just hate life every single day waking up because maybe this wasn't the thing that you thought it was going to be, it's okay to walk away from stuff.
Yeah. Also, it might have been the thing, and then you change.
That's absolutely true.
Or the world changes.
Yes.
So it's, it's okay to go on to something new.
Yeah.
But not because you stubbed your toe.
Yeah. And you got to realize the problems are never going to stop in life. That is the one constant that I have seen my entire life, and that I think everybody would agree with.
Yeah.
The problems never stop coming. And I like to compare life to a game and say that, as we grow, we kind of go to these new levels in the game, and the levels gain complexity, but it's just more problems coming at you. And when you learn any game, like you're learning chess, when you start first playing chess, you're just putting pieces, you're reactive to the situation, and you lose a lot.
Yeah.
But the people that study the game and take a 30,000 foot view, and they really, really assess the rules and how the pieces move and everything, they start to master the game. And even they have problems, but their problems start to become way more complex problems that require more efficient or more elegant solutions to the problem.
Right.
And then we die, but that's life. So don't think that I'm like waiting for a point in my life where everything's going to be good. Bro, it's going to be good for 3 months.
Yeah.
2 days maybe.
Yeah.
And
enjoy those. Back. Enjoy those days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're never going to stop coming. The goods and the bads are always ebb and flow. So just understand that that's kind of part of life. And if you look at it as a game and be like, all right, well, I'm just playing a game, and right now I lost to the boss. Yeah. So I got to go back and try a little bit different thing, and I'll get through this. Yeah. You will get through it. Just keep pushing. Keep on keeping on.
It's true.
So that's all I got. Anything else? Oh yeah, we have the YouTube channel.
Oh yeah. Yeah. If you're looking to listen to some chill synthwave lo-fi stuff, go to youtube.com/@SpaceStationFM. There's lives, there's music that I made. It's just meant to be put on while you're working, while you're chilling, while you're studying.
It's live stream like 24/7.
24/7.
And it's just like, imagine sitting in a spaceship and like there's nothing but blackness and stars in front of you, and this is the kind of music to like zone out to.
Yep.
So if you're studying for your exam or something, you don't want like something with crazy words that are going to distract you. It's like chill music to sit and listen to while you're studying or working or whatever.
Yeah. And my album, Future Garage Sale, is in it. So
cool.
Check it out.
All right. Love you, crazies. See you in the next one.